And if we look at our trade partners, the top two export markets for Idaho is our neighbors, our NAFTA countries, Canada and Mexico. Well, today, what I want to talk about are mainly two things about the wheat export in Idaho. The first thing is I want to give you a big picture that how we look at the impact of trade in general. And then we're going to look at a more specific question that we know recently US and China, we have a trade tension, and we really care about Idaho wheat exports. So we'll look at what are the possible impacts of the US-China trade tension on Idaho wheat exports. So these are two questions I want to talk today. Okay. Well, for the first question, when we talk about trade, if we ask how do economists look at trade, actually, for most of the time, if you ask economists' opinion on a certain issue, you ask 1,000 of the economists, they probably will give you 2,000 of opinions. But when we talk about trade, actually more than 90% of economists will agree on that trade is good. We like trade because we say countries gain from trade. And to complete the answer to this question, we need to look at the impact of trade. And here, there are some very important things we need to understand. First, when we talk about a good price change, it must be the price is determined by both demand and supply. And if we look at a world market for a certain good, the world price of the good must be determined by both world demand and world supply. And the second thing is, well, if the economists say, okay, trade is so good, then why some people, they don't like trade? It's because trade will create winners and losers within a country. So look, here we still say the country will gain from trade. However, within a country, there will be winners and losers. And we will look at it later. And the third important thing of the impact of trade is when we think about two countries treat to each other with different currency, then their exchange rate actually matters a lot. And to help you understand all these three important things, let me give you an example about wheat export. So on this graph is the white wheat price in the recent years. If we look at the white wheat price for this year, actually compared to the prices from 2015, the white wheat price is at 3-year high. Isn't that sort of weird, given that we know China is imposing tariff on wheat? Shouldn't we expect that wheat price may go down instead of increase, that like we saw on the graph? Well, why is that? It will come back to our first important thing, that the good price is determined by both demand and supply. So we saw that the white wheat price is increasing. It's because it could be we have more demand of white wheat, or we have less supply of wheat. If we look at the demand side, what will happen is, okay, China imposed tariff on wheat. Then the tariff would discourage the consumers in China. What they could do is they probably, okay, consume less, and the demand for wheat is decreasing. However, the demand decreasing in China is not big enough to affect the world demand. So the world demand not decrease that much. That this is the demand side. But when we look at the supply side of wheat, the world supply decreases more than the change of demand. One possible reason here that I learned from Mr. Norm is Australia, as one of the biggest wheat exporter, they face a major drought recently. So that's explained that for the world supply side, because of this Australian drought, we have much less supply of wheat compared to the little decrease of the world demand. So that's probably is the main reason that why we see the wheat price is increasing instead of decreasing here. And then the second important thing that we say trade creates winners and losers. So in our case, if the wheat price goes up, then who will win and who will lose? It'll be easier to see that if the wheat price goes up, then of course wheat farmers will be happier because they can earn more money by selling their wheat at a higher price. However, if we think about wheat consumers, they probably be not happy because now they have to pay a high price and pay more to buy the same amount of wheat. And if we look at who are the wheat consumers, it's not only the group that, okay, we buy wheat from grocery store and put it at home. It's also those people who use wheat as an input of their production. For example, for those chicken farmers, they will buy wheat for chicken feed. If the wheat price goes up, then what will happen to them is their cost of produce chicken or raising chicken will increase. But if the chicken price does not change, then the chicken farmers will earn less. They get less profit. So for this wheat price goes up, we can tell, okay, there are not all people happy or all people not happy. There are winners and losers. And come back to the first point that we say economists like trade, and we say countries gain from trade. We are thinking about the overall benefit a country gain from trade. It must be the winner's gain is greater than loser's loss. So economists think about the overall benefit that a country gets from trade. But within a country, trade will create winners and losers. So that's our point. And the third thing, the exchange rate matters a lot in trade. Is because, for example, we have a stronger US dollar now. If the US trade to another foreign country, it automatically what will happen is we have stronger US dollar, then the foreign currency will be weaker. Then it's also create winners and losers. Then who will be happy with the stronger US dollar? Of course, the US importers, because now they can use the same amount of US dollar to buy more foreign goods. And also, the foreign exporters will be happier, because with the weaker foreign currency, they have more advantage to compete with other producers at a lower price, right? And following the similar logic here, the US exporters will be not happy because with the strong US dollar, they will lose their advantage in good prices. And also foreign importers will be not happy because with the same amount of foreign currency, they can buy less US goods, right? And for example, let's say if you are planning for a trip to Europe with a strong US dollar, I will be happy because with the same amount of US dollar, I can buy a better dinner and I can afford a better hotel room, right?